everyone? Welcome back to Autocorrect Primer, where we hate us some what?
He-Man.
Exactly. Hate us some He-Man tonight.
No, we hate Teela.
Oh, poor Teela.
We love He-Man.
Teela. Kevin Smith, my friend. Oh my gosh. You know, there was a thing that was called Jay and Silent Bob. Just saying, Kevin Smith, maybe you should be more like Silent Bob and silent on this topic. Whoa. Here's the thing. I actually had to watch this thing of diarrhea, and I will be opening this up for y'all to come in after I do my first part of my roast of this. It was the Teela show. Teela. It was all about Teela and her man of arms that bitch had. I mean, she has some guns. She made utter just, I mean, it absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So we sat there. Okay, let me stop. Okay. First of all, I'm a big He-Man fan. He-Man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, that's my jam. Absolutely. Let me tell you how much He-Man's pissed me off. I quit buying He-Man action figures and started picking up Power Rangers. Let that sink in for a second. I dropped a whole toy line. Now, see, here's the thing. You gave us this piece of garbage called She-Ra that you have She-Ra, okay? And She-Ra is fighting with Catra. And at the end of the season, that bitch marries her. I was like, what? Wait a second. Are you telling me that is a healthy relationship that you're telling young girls and teenage girls, whatever your damn audience is, that it is okay for your two love? If you're in love, you beat the shit out of the one you love. Just go and just beat the living shit out of them. I mean, just beat them down. Beat them down, because at the end of the day, y'all gonna walk down the aisle together. So I was like, okay, all right, Netflix, y'all really fucked up. Y'all really did with the whole She-Ra thing. So I was like, okay, all right. So I had to even open up a beer to be able to do this thing tonight. So with this, you have He-Man, which has always been He-Man and what? The Masters of the Universe. It was a red flag to me when I saw that He-Man, the main character, you know, the toy line is based off of He-Man with his power sword. Hello? I mean, instead, what they did was they just chopped off He-Man's balls and gave it to old Teela. That's what I'm calling her, Bitch Teela. Bitch Teela. She is the one that now has the power because she has castrated every single man that was in that in that cartoon. And the only one that actually I was like, gosh knows, the only character they got right was Roboto. And he was a fucking robot, and they killed him at the end. Orko. I'm like, good night, Orko. He gets punked out by Scareglow. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a screen share, okay? Now, see, Kevin Smith, I will give the man props. I will give the man props here, because this is what I'm going to share. Let me go to screen share. And I will give him his dues. He did put a big cast. I mean, he really did. I mean, he went all out. Let's just be honest. He went all out, put some of the biggest names out there, as you can see here, to actually play the different characters. And I mean, he really did really well bringing these different actors to the forefront of coming and being the voice acting of this. So spot on with the voice acting. that was the only thing that was good about this whole series, is that the actual, and here's something. This is just to Mark out there. You knew they screwed up Star Wars, and you were a part of that. How did you not come to Kevin Smith and say, hey, dude, just want to let you know there was a toy line that was based off of the character. Tila was the sidekick. Tila she wasn't even the main character. And so the first thing we have that happens is that Tila finds out that first of all that He-Man is Prince Adam, and she runs off and has a hissy fit. I mean, just literally a hissy fit. I mean, we got the soil, oh my God. So you have Tila. She finds out that He-Man is Prince Adam. She gets mad at her father. Now she's being, brought in as man of arms. I was like, yeah, that bitch has got some man of arms. By the time she leaves and comes back, she's got bigger damn guns than He-Man. And I was sitting there and I was like, okay, wait a second. You just got promoted to being the leader of the Guard. And do you not think that maybe the reason why they didn't tell you that Prince Adam was He-Man was that it was a secret of national security for his life and health, and he becomes He-Man? You get pissed off, you take your little tiara, you throw it to the ground, and then you become a dyke. I mean, seriously, you become a dyke. You already have a strong female character. If you wanted to tell this type of story, this story would have worked perfectly, absolutely perfectly, if it was the She-Ra story, not the He-Man story. This would have been fine. Instead of giving us that crap that we got with She-Ra, where you're in an abusive relationship, and it's okay. It's okay if you want to be, LGBTQ. It's okay to be in a relationship if your partner beats the hell out of you, but it's okay because y'all are both the same sex and you're part of the LGBT community. That's what it was telling kids, is that it's okay if your loved one beats the shit out of you. I mean, didn't we for the longest time sit there and say, hey, men, don't beat the hell out of your wives. It's not okay. But yet we have a cartoon that sits there and promotes this and says, yes, it's an excellent idea. At the end of it, they're going to sit there and they're going to hug it out. And with them hugging it out, they're going to sit there and go, you know what? I was wrong about you. Will you marry me? Let's go toss our salads. I mean, this was the thing that gets me, that I'm like, Hollywood, Kevin, you said, I'm doing this for the fans. You know what you told the fans? Let's just be honest. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just call it what it is. This is what you said to the fans. You said, here you go. I want you to sit on it and rotate it for me. But that's the thing, Ghost. You are a fan of the story. This is like taking Starscream, all right? And instead of having Starscream be the one that's maniacal and vindictive, but taking him and making him into a female. It's this whole idea of stripping away the masculinity. The reason why the Netflix, and I'm going to talk about this on Monday. We actually have Billy the Kid's going to be a part of the show on Monday, and we're going to be talking about the Transformers and how it worked, how the kingdom worked, is because you're not putting an agenda into the story. And if this was a Tila story, then it should have been at least brought to the forefront, saying, here's the thing. They knew that if they called it Tila and the Masters of the Universe, fans would not watch it. Do you realize it has gotten the lowest ratings in Netflix? That it's actually, its ratings are so bad that typically you take a look at Netflix right now and you will see Kingdom is in their top 10. Masters of the Universe, not in the top 10.
Transformers, there's
Yeah.
2 kingdoms on Netflix.
Transformers Kingdom, excuse me. No, I'm glad you didn't watch. I mean, the Transformers Kingdom is really good. It's good, and this is what we'll talk about on Monday. But the problem is you have where you're taking a side character and essentially you're saying she's more important to the story. Teela is more important to the story than He-Man himself. And look, I know some people were sitting there saying, "Oh, y'all are having issues because the skin." No, I don't care. I don't care. I could care less about the skin color of the certain characters. I don't care. You know, you made Grayskull, this guy with dreads, fine. But at the same time, you're not keeping with the actual story, which is essentially focusing on, it's called Masters of the Universe. It's called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I have the power. I mean, she sees Prince Adam in the afterlife and she's still pissed off at him because she didn't tell her secret. But yet she was being sworn in as Man-at-Arms, and then she became privy to the knowledge and knowing that he was He-Man. I mean, I'm looking at this and going, okay, this is a stupid story. This is absolutely, completely, it's really unnecessary. We've got 5 episodes. You want to know why we got 5 episodes? Because the test audience for the show was so bad that they only released the first 5 episodes. Right now, they are going back in and redoing scenes and redoing voice acting. And Kevin Smith is sitting here saying, the fans are toxic. I wanted to bring you the best. And look, as an artist, you can have the best artwork in the world. The best artwork in the world. But if your story is shit, it is not going to matter how much you could just sit there and color it any way you want to, but if it's still a pile of shit, it's still a pile of shit. It's not going to smell any different. And that's what we got with this. You have Orko, who sacrificed himself, which made no sense at all. You have Mark Hamilton coming in, playing the great voice acting. I'm not upset with the voice actors at all. I liked all the voice actors. But you've got Teela, which should be called Butcha. I mean, because she is friggin' Butch. So I'm going to open this up. Let me do this real quick. Because I actually made myself rewatch it so that I could have the same feel for this when I first saw it. I thought that if I watched it the second time, and even Nikki was like, okay, well, watch it the second time. I'm gonna view it as a separate story, a story of its own. It's telling its own story. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's something brand new. I've never seen it before. And then she got to the very last thing, and you've got Skeletor stabbing and killing Prince Adam again before he even shows up as He-Man. I was like, holy crap, dude, can you not say by the power of Grayskull, I've got the power? I mean, I'm sorry. I know you've been dead for a while. You just came back. Your voice box may be a little bit messed up, but just fucking squeak it out there, dude. He can't say it fast enough. And then you have him get stabbed in the back by Skeletor, who then becomes God Skeletor God, whatever. And then you, again, someone that's going back to an abusive relationship. It's Evil Lynn's going to an abusive relationship, and she goes back into it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Welcome, Ruben.
Greetings.
So you've not seen it yet?
No, because my Netflix still hates me. I was trying to plan watching Kingdom today, and it still doesn't work.
Well, you're not missing much not seeing it. To be absolutely honest with you, it is
Horseshit.
It is. I mean, you're sitting there and you're having a story that's supposed to be about He-Man, and Teela's not even going back to there to get Prince Adam. She doesn't even know he's in this place. And did y'all realize that here's how shitty it is on Eternia? When you die, unless you've done something heroic, you can't go to Valhalla. You're just gonna lay on the ground and be dead. They said that, and I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. That's kind of really messed up.
Fucked up.
Welcome, my ghost.
The child.
Thank you.
But
hey, by the way, I was hoping you'd send the link before the stream, but I'm gonna send you my mother-in-law wants me to send you her phone number. So when I send it, and yeah, I guess I'll say I'm on the naughty list. So, and plus I don't want to deal with my sister getting on to me. So I just chose you to deal with it because my sister hardly does anything about it half the time. So
okay, I'll see what I can do.
Anyway.
I will.
Okay, yeah, so if I do something wrong, she's just gonna outright text you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you when I can.
Oh. But yeah,
Yes,
it's
just let's just continue with the stream. I'll talk about it after. And by the way, in the comments, none of your business. Go ahead.
That means fuck off.
But no, I'm okay. I'm going to give it a benefit of doubt. All right, Ghost, tell me what you liked about it real quick. And I'm going to take my camera off for just a second, but I'm still listening. Ghost, what is it that you liked about it?
Hold on a minute. I'm on the phone real quick.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I will. I'll say this. I'm on I'll say this. I'm a 50-50 on it, but I guess it's because I don't listen to the critics. I enjoy it for what it is. Like, for an example, like, yes, I hate the Wonder Woman movie, but there is some stuff I do like about it. And for an example, and I'm going to give some examples. People out there, they hated Transformers The Last Night. Me, I'm one of the people that actually like it. And for Solo, a Star Wars story, and this is going to be my big example, people outright hated that movie. Like, they gave it bad reviews. They say, don't watch it, it's trash. Did I listen to them? No. I went and watched the movie for myself, and I had my own opinions on it. I enjoyed it for what it was, regardless of what it was. Hold on.
Well, when you said that you like the Solo Star Wars, you lost all credibility with me.
Hang on a minute. I'll be in a minute. Let me go do something real quick.
All right. The thing that happens is that, look, taking a story and saying, okay, you don't start something that's dealing with the hero and you kill the hero in the first 5 minutes. You do 5 30-minute episodes. You have him return to be the hero, to kill him in less than 30 seconds he steps forth. I'm expecting Teela to go and pick up the stupid ass sword and say she's got the power and becoming the next He-Man, because I mean that bitch got some big ass arms. I don't know if you saw him, but she was like she was a She-Man. She's like boom, man.
She's buff as fuck right now. She's buff.
Oh my god, she is butch.
She's been taking too many proteins, bro. Oh Jesus Christ, what the hell?
And I was like, wait a second. And here's what they did as the artwork. I saw it in this. You have Teela and Prince Adam are sitting there, and they're right on their hoverboards, and she like stands up next to him and she flexes her muscle. And it's like in the artwork, it shows that she's got this big ass gun, and you got little skinny Prince Adam over here going, I'm so sorry, Teela, I didn't tell you who I was.
Rosie the Riveter, she ain't.
And I rewatched this crap today to see if I wanted to have the fresh hatred of it on my tongue before I did the stream. And Nikki actually went into it with open eyes and said, I'm going to just view it as if it has nothing to do with the original He-Man. This is all totally new. She said, I enjoyed it. till the last episode, and the last episode for her, she says, is an absolute disgrace to masculinity. It's an attack on masculinity, because the reason why the first He-Man franchise ended up failing, which was one of the most multi-billion-dollar franchise, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Mask, Mattel didn't have to create all these things. Mattel had He-Man and Barbie, and they were kicking ass all the way and laughing their asses off all the way to the bank, while Kenner, Hasbro, everyone else was sitting here scrambling around making Star Wars action figures, G.I. Joe, reinventing G.I. Joe, bringing out Transformers, bringing out Mask, bringing out, Inhumanoids. And, Mattel was like, "Bam, bitches, we're kicking your asses. We're kicking your asses all the way." And they came out with She-Ra because a lady was like, "We are a female brand for Barbie, so we don't need to have this strong masculine character." And she comes out with his twin sister She-Ra, and it kills the toy line to the point where Toys R Us refused to stock anymore He-Man action figures because the toys became toxic. Because what you had done is you told kids, boys, oh wait, their little kid sister now can be like He-Man. There's nothing special about him.
I thought it was because they stopped making the cartoon.
Mm-mm.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
A Teela show could have worked. I mean, Teela's, again, I said this on my review, it could have worked if it was done well, like an adult. Because, Teela, they did episodes about Teela in the original show. I'm not saying this isn't a bad idea. I'm just saying, do it as a motherfucking adult, Kevin Boston Terrier Smith.
Yeah, I don't mind. And if here's what, even when I was talking to Nikki about this, I was like, okay, it was so bad they ended it at the 5 episodes. It was actually slated to have 8 episodes for the first season, and they cut the last 3 out. That tells me they're going back to the drawing board and they're reanimating. And not only are they reanimating, but they're bringing the voice actors back to fill out that part, and it'll be part 2. So I have a feeling part 2 is only going to be maybe 3 or 4 episodes for the second season of He-Man, or excuse me, not He-Man, Teela, Masters of the Universe. The thing is that you make Teela look like a fucking man.
What was wrong with the old snake armor look?
There was
nothing
It
wrong
showed off
with
too
that.
much leg. It showed off too much leg.
She's a warrior goddess.
Yes, but
What the fuck?
It's
here's an idea. Why not? Oh my god, I have the stupidest thing. They're gonna make Andra the new champion because she's black, and they made King Grayskull black, and she's like really into machinery.
Oh
my god, can I call this show racist? Because race swapping,
Well, here's the thing: is that for her character didn't have anything but like an artwork that was in the back of a comic book, which was actually only published in India. So we didn't ever really see her in the United States as a character. So her coming out as a TV show and being that way, I was fine with.
Well,
but when you have King Grayskull, that was an issue for me. I would have been fine if you had even made, oh God, was it Volcar? I think is his name.
Stratos?
Not Stratos, but they had the
Vicor.
Vicor, or they could have done the other sorceress, that was speaking in a language that nobody could understand. They could have made her that way, and that would have been fine.
Oh no, God! It's just they put so much light on it. Like, remember in 2002 when Zodak was black?
Yeah,
nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
But they're drawing attention to it. We made this character black because we're racist toward. It's just oh my god! And where the hell is Zodak during all this anyway?
Well, it makes no sense. And the whole thing was problematic from the very get-go. As soon as Teela took off her tiara, threw it down, rejected being the Man of Arms, which I was like, that is not even a title that was being passed down. That is, yes, his name was Duncan, Man of Arms, but now you've made it a title of Metal Smith.
And
that's what
she's yelling at a mourning, like
father and mother.
Like Randor and Marlena are just crying, and
she's yelling at them,
and you think that she would start yelling because, she just assumes that Randor knew the secret. Well, Marlena does know the secret from the old show.
She figured it out. She figured it out from the old show. She figured out what Prince Adam was doing.
And if this is a reboot, I am sick of this stuff. I am sick of having to learn prior knowledge for a reboot. They did this with the damn Rugrats reboot as well. You got to know everything. Everything. It's a goddamn reboot. Not in the Animaniacs revival, which is technically a reboot. You don't need to know anything about Animaniacs to watch that show. Why do I need to know so much about this?
The thing is that Teela came out to be, in my eyes, a little whiny bitch.
Like Ray?
You know, she sits there and she's like, you kept a secret from me. And I'm thinking, do you realize this is the Prince of Eternia? And there are some people that's privy to having knowledge about the hierarchy. And when you are privy, or you get to that point of getting that, you know, then you are given that knowledge.
I think you're kind of missing the point, because, you know, she was going to learn it anyway. She's the daughter of the sorceress, which I wish. Imagine if Duncan actually told her that. But no, Evelyn does the whole Star Wars thing.
I don't need any more family issues. And I'm like, you're fucking trying to bring back Skeletor. I mean, you know, Beastman is all about you, and you're trying. And Evelyn, that at the very end with her going next to Skeletor, that made no sense. I was like, you want to have a character that has been redeemed, and now you're just going to throw all that away because she's being subjugated to a man who is abusive. What the hell is up with Mattel trying to push this agenda that abusive relationships are okay? They did this with She-Ra, and they're now doing this with Masters of the Universe.
They're probably dumbasses.
What now?
They're probably dumbasses of Mattel. Yeah.
And
Kevin Smith is upset. He says, the fans are toxic. No, the fans aren't toxic. You said, I'm doing a show. What he's pissed off about is that he paid for the voice actors. He's paid for this awesome animation. But yet he wrote and scripted a piece of shit story. And it doesn't matter who's voice acting it, and it doesn't matter how awesome the artwork is. If the story is shit, then the story is shit. It don't matter how you color it. You could spray Febreze on it. Doesn't matter. It's still a pile of shit. A dog shit at that. He just shit on the floor of the fans, and he told the fans they're being toxic. But yeah, he's the one crying. I can't believe this. I'm like, you know what? There's a reason why it was Jay and Silent Bob. Maybe you should be more silent, because you first of all, and you go back into the early 2000s, around the time, a little bit before that, also when you have Clerks. There's things where he's making fun of He-Man. He's never been a fan of He-Man. He despises the thing. He never could relate to He-Man. He thought He-Man was a joke. He-Man was something he didn't ever want. And then all of a sudden, he's now coming with the Masters of the Universe, and then he's like this huge-ass fanboy. He's all about He-Man and everything like He-Man. I've always been a He-Man fan. And I'm like, you're just a Hollywood stooge. That's all you are. You're trying to sell a product, and you're recognizing you made a bad investment because you put your money in a bad story that you wrote.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
And he flat out lied. And Clownfish TV, you hear about Clownfish TV?
I watched that.
Oh my God! Here's what's happening now. He won't shut up. Kevin,
he won't shut up.
Just shut up already. We don't care if you're wrong. You know, Clerks 3 is coming out, right?
That's what he's worried about. That's what he's worried about right there, because this is his fan base. Is
What fan base?
Well, as of now, he's lost the little bit of fan base that he had. He's lost all his credibility. He's lost all of it. He went after Clownfish and he attacked those two. I mean, hard trying to discredit them, hard trying to tear them down and try and get YouTube to give them copyright strikes and prevent them from being able to upload anything or have any opposition to the story of Masters of the Universe. I mean, he went after them with a vengeance. And then the show comes out and it's supposed to be 8 episodes and they shorten it down to 5 episodes because they know that when they did the test audience, it was so bad that there was no test audience that actually liked this. None. When you had preteens, nope. Teenagers, nope.
No.
Women,
nope.
Adults?
Men, nope. And
Kids?
then when the actual fans were supposed to see it, which is our fan base, nope.
and
You had the 4 horsemen work their fucking asses off to keep this brand alive. Prime example, right up there. And I've got more than just those.
Ooh, is that a martial arts team, man?
Yep. And also Grizzlor and Hordak and She-Ra and Bo and Adora Buzzoff from the 4 Horsemen. They took He-Man 2000X and they were like, we're doing that toy line. Toy line didn't go so well. Cartoon Network killed the cartoon, so that pretty much put everything. But yet they were the ones that kept the daggum thing alive. They didn't stop. They went to Mattel and was like, look, we want to keep this toy line going, but let's make it as a collector's thing. Let's focus on the fans are going to keep this thing alive for you, because the rights are supposed to revert back to, I think, Paramount. And now they are going to revert back to Paramount in the year 2023. And I'm like, is the whole purpose of this to piss off the fan base so that when Paramount gets the actual properties of He-Man, the fan base could not give 2 shits in the wind? I mean, have they not looked at the track record for Star Wars?
It's Hollywood. They're all retarded. Can I say retarded?
Yeah. Because I mean, anymore. I mean, they're mentally issued. They have mental issues. I mean, it makes no sense. No sense at all.
And isn't Kevin Smith a drug addict?
He a recovering drug addict.
And this is the man that, like, I hate that I was like so correct about this, and the toys suck. I'm just gonna say it out loud. Toys suck.
Oh, they got QC issues too. Horrible QC issues.
And
right
the 4
now.
Horsemen only worked on Moss Man. That's the only figure they worked on, Moss Man. And they got Alan Oppenheimer to play him in Revelations. Alan freaking Oppenheimer. Not to play Skeletor or Man-at-Arms, but
Yeah.
oh my
mean,
god. Oh
The
my.
voice acting for it was, I mean, I have to say, yeah, that's where a lot of your money went. Got you.
Except for Tealish.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, I was like, you finally got her coming out where she's actually doing something again and not. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and I'm going, you knew this was all going to be released on Netflix, which means that people are going to binge watch this shit as soon as it drops. Because how many of us binge watched Kingdom? Right? So, with Netflix, people are going to be binge watching that shit. And we binge watched it. And you get, if you leave Prince Adam, you'll never be allowed to come back into Valhalla. And he gets killed after he just shows back up.
And then Skeletor wins the end. Fuck you, audience. You buy toys now. That's basically it. And he's telling us to grow up.
Yes.
Shit, you're working for Mattel.
I don't know how Mattel sat here and allowed something like after She-Ra sits there and shows you what a bad relationship. It doesn't matter that She-Ra and Katra ended up becoming an item, and they got married. She could have ended up falling in love with any other girl, and I could have cared less. I could have cared less, Yeah, but the thing is that
she could have.
She could have been up with any female. They could have hooked her up with any of the females that was the princes of that line, and hooked her up with one of them. I would have been absolutely okay with. I hated the fact that they end up making where she and Katra are getting married. You're telling girls who identify as being a lesbian that it's okay for your lesbian partner to beat the shit out of you, and then you turn around and do the same thing.
I don't like them.
It baffles me. And I was like, I don't know where He-Man has become the sexual identity. I mean, I do know there's like certain jokes. Speaking of that, I'm gonna pull one up while I'm thinking about it. It's let's see.
Oh
yes,
my God.
That was just a joke. We never really thought He-Man was gay. We were just messing around.
But I mean,
I mean, it's just like let's face it, the brand is ruined forever. Like,
yes, I agree.
The brand's dead. Like, just cancel the other show. Like, just oh my God, just like, and he won't shut up about it. He's just digging a hole into space at this point. Now Netflix is.
The proof is that he's been found out as a fraud. He's been found out. He lied. He lied to the fans. The sad thing is that this right here, this is making He-Man and Skeletor better than that friggin' cartoon that we just got finished watching. This 5 episodes. This 2-minute clip, I think, is 10 times better than the whole. And the reason why is because you actually have He-Man and Scarecrow, Skeletor. Yes, go ahead.
Scarecrow.
I only want to hear it from you, nobody else, please. Have you ever played the and this important for the He-Man thing I'm going to talk about, have you played the Batman Arkham games?
Yes.
Or watched? Well, please, I just want to hear it from you, nobody else, but I can't help but listen to Skeletor. He sounds like the Joker. I'm serious.
Well, he is. I mean, that's the voice. This Mark Hamilton's the same voice. He's also Luke Skywalker.
He did good, though.
Excuse me. He did good. I mean, he is. He's Luke Skywalker.
ACP.
Mark Hamilton's
Yeah.
What the fuck am I watching?
This is a lot better. This is a lot better than what we saw from the Tila. This is He-Man and Captain and Skeletor Dirty Dancing. I mean, this is the joke they've made He-Man to be. They made him into this joke.
Wait. Oh, wait. Never mind. He was just tricking him.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. He was okay.
So, I mean, in all honesty, my sister's husband told me he's a big He-Man fan too, and he saw this, and this came out like about a year or two ago. And he said, if they've already started to do this, and this was something for Mattel to do, and they've done that, then the brand is done. And I was like, no, there's a good chance. There's a good chance it could be redeemed. And he was like, okay. And then this came out, the new cartoon came out, and I was like, he was like, I want to see it. So I was like, hey, here's for Netflix. Let's watch it. And then he was like, I told you there's no way to redeem. When you put He-Man at a level that you saw that commercial that they made for him about 2 years ago, they don't see him as a viable resource of income, and he's a joke. He's a joke, and that's what he's ended up. So, I mean,
can I say something, Otto?
Yeah.
And this is for you. Remember when you told me that He-Man was stronger than Superman? You remember that?
Yep.
I didn't see that in this series because he legit got his ass kicked by a freaking laser beam that deflected off the thing. I don't care what it's called. I really don't care what it's called. It deflected off of him and hit him and also he got stabbed in the back. I did not see no
Yep.
Superman powers from that. They totally screwed that up.
Oh yeah. Well, you have someone that's named. He is named as the strongest man in the universe, and you can throw him off of a boat by merman, and he can't break out of the handcuffs. He's not the strongest man in the universe. He's the strongest joke in the universe. You didn't see, there was no superpowers that he had. There was nothing he had to overcome. There was nothing that he was able to lift and break or beat. And I was like, and what people don't understand, this is the reason why you have a lot of males upset about this. And I'm just going to put it out there like it really is. The reason why there's a lot of males in the fandom that's pissed off about this is for the sheer fact that you have once again attacked masculinity. Masculinity is the enemy in the agenda, and we've got to tear down everything that's masculinity and make it lower. It's the war of the sexes, and it should never be that. It should never be men against women.
So
it should always be that they work together.
Even women hate this show.
Yes.
As I was trying to say,
sorry.
It's all good. Thank you. I was trying to say, so you saying that this? Correct me if I'm wrong, Otto. You saying that this He-Man Revelations is offending, like, for example, like gay people and lesbians and all that?
It's
screwing with, if I got the right word.
No, well, I mean, what it's done is that it's taking a childhood cartoon, and it's taken it and it's pushed this feminism. And I have no problem with strong females. I support my wife daily, all the time. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I actually went to fight with the mayor of the town that we're getting ready to move to on her behalf, and I won because I believe that strong females have a right to express themselves, and my wife as an artist has a right to express herself. The thing is that what we're seeing though is saying it's bad for you to look at a male role model who has muscles and actually has the ability to overcome obstacles. We've got to tear that masculinity down. We got to make it where boys feel ashamed, that they shouldn't associate, that they shouldn't identify with the fact of having a very testosterone environment. And there's a healthy way of showing boys what it is to be a good man, and there's the soy version of showing boys how the agenda wants your manhood to be. And to identify as a male, and this is the thing, this goes across, this has nothing to do with color, race, or anything. This has everything to do with this agenda that everything needs to be woke feminist. And if you're not woke feminist and you're not wearing your vagina on your head, then you're the enemy. Yeah, you're the enemy. And people will look at this, and I love this. This is why I want to put it out this way. People will look at this and they'll be like, okay, there's 3 white males speaking, but the one Hispanic hasn't said anything. He knows he can chime in at any time.
He's a Cherokee man.
Exactly. You would look at me and you'd be like, you're a white dude. How do you know that? Do you know my ancestors? Do you know my family? You know my Cherokee, my Sioux Nation? Do you know that big part of me who my tribe is? And I've done this. I've had this happen before. I was doing the same type of podcast where I was talking about this, and it was on stereo, was like, well, you're just a white male. And I was like, wow, that's very racist of you. Very racist of you. And they're like, I can't be racist. I was like, it don't matter if you sit there. And I said, you look like you just been sitting out in the sun a little bit too long, and you're just really darkly tanned. And they were like, I'm African American. I was like, well, I'm First Nation people, bitch. Your people came over here and was only enslaved because you didn't know the land. That's the whole reason why those people were enslaved back in the day. No white man is enslaved my people. and no white man today has enslaved your people. This idea that we need to label people is driving me up the fucking wall. And not only that, taking away that, hey, it is bad for you to be a male. If you're a male, it's bad.
Makes
It's
you want to move to
horrible.
Japan, doesn't it? They don't care about that stuff there.
Well,
Manga, anime, like they don't give a shit about wokeness.
The reason why manga is kicking and Japanese manga is kicking American comic books right now is for that reason right there.
Why do you think we still have Goku?
And they still just tell stories. They're just in it for the story.
Same with Transformers.
Unless you get the IDW stuff, and then you kind of get into that little gray area. But
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nazi America.
Whoa.
Well, you have where in the IDW you have I think it was RC starts dating another film bot in that.
Hey, I think we're getting off topic a little.
But with the He-Man thing, you're going back to this whole thing that He-Man, you're sitting there telling the fans, I'm doing this for you. And the question is, did you really do this story for the fans, or did you just tell a story that you wanted to tell? Here's the reason why. The only reason why the movie The Joker ever got made, just going to be completely honest with everyone out there, the only reason why the movie The Joker got made is that the Joker was not the actual name of the script that was being pitched to Warner Brothers. The writer and the director wanted to tell a story of a white male being also oppressed and breaking down socially. And Warner Brothers said, well, nobody's going to go see that movie. So 7 months later, they come back with the same script, the same exact script, and go to the executives at Warner Brothers, except the only difference thing they did in the script, the only thing they did is they made the white oppressed male the Joker. And Warner Brothers were like, oh, that's a great idea. I can see that. And he's going to be the villain of Batman. So we're going to get to see why he becomes the villain of Batman. That's all the executives saw. But it was the identical script. Same script that they were given 7 months earlier that they said no one will go see that movie. Come back 7 months later, they put the Joker on it, and the executives go, we'll make that movie. And that's the reason why we got the Joker movie, and the reason why it did so well is that the writer and director recognized that, look, we're in an uphill battle. There, people don't realize that they've already stereotyped males in Hollywood, and you can clearly see that now. The reason why Kevin Smith can't shut up is that he knows that he's got Jay and Silent Bob 3 is supposed to be coming out, and it's supposed to be given a big push, and he knows that it's going to be played everywhere that he's a liar, that he is a manipulator, and that he's only in it to get money.
And now Netflix has decided, oh, we got to add realism to this. Dickhead, there's a guy with a skull for a face, a fish man. And let's see here, a guy with a giant clamp.
You know, I wondered, and I was like, you know, if you take a look at Transformers Kingdom, and you go, in all honesty, with Transformers Kingdom, it was the most
refreshing thing I've ever seen after Revelations.
Yeah, out of Netflix, that's come out of Netflix, especially, you know, from their animated line. And you're like, we're always Transformers saying, man, I wish they would have shown us more figures. I wish they would have shown us more characters. I think that the creators that were working on it wanted to stick with a core story and knew that if they started to branch out and show other characters, Netflix would be like, oh, let's identify them. Let's make them identify as this. But when you have 50 cogs, go ahead, start screen.
Oh, I was going to say, I can understand where you're coming from. And also, I really want to point this out. The reason why they never put Rodimus Prime in there is because he wouldn't have fit into the story. Like they didn't know where to put him, so they removed him. And
Then I told
for
you it would
the
have been
other
stupid.
credit, you didn't tell me that, but
No,
if
I
you did,
said
I
it
don't
the other
remember.
day. I said putting Rodimus in Kingdom and just saying, "Oh, hey, I was here this whole time," would be a stupid idea.
I don't remember because
You don't remember that?
I have a short term memory and maybe some brain damage along with it because of some stuff I did as a kid. But anyways, like I was saying, and same for Waspinator and I guess Pterosaur and Tarantulas. The only way they said that they were in the series directly, the only way they were able to say that the reason why they're not there is because the Maximals decimated some of Megatron's ranks.
Yeah, but
And I gotta use the bathroom. Be right back.
all right. But at the same time, I question and go, okay, maybe there's a reason why, the ones at Hasbro sat there and said, you know what, let's not go get all those SAG employees, which are unionized, because they're going to take over the story. They're going to hijack the story. Let's just hire people that are not SAG. Let's just hire people that really want to do a good job. They want to have their voice acting. They're pushing it out there to become voice actors. And with that, you don't have all this garbage that we got from Masters of the Universe Revelation. It was a fitting title that was called Revelation, because in Revelation it means reveal, but it also means to reveal at the end. So, I mean, in a way, you're seeing this. I mean, to me, it was a final nail in the coffin. I have not bought another He-Man figure since I saw this, and I had a chance to get God Skeletor. I saw Moss Man, and I saw Battle Cat, and I refused to buy them. I walked away from them and I didn't buy them. And when I came home, Nikki was like, I thought you were going to be able to find some of those things you're looking for. I was like, I just couldn't do it. Just could not do it. And so now I've been buying Power Rangers. Why? Because I've been going back and binge watching the Power Rangers I have not seen, some of the ones I've missed. And I'm like, this is good story. This is stories that can be told cross era. You go watch the original Power Rangers and enjoy it just like it is, and you can watch the brand new Power Rangers, which is I think called Dino Fury, and it's exactly an enjoyable thing.
Yeah. And
y'all carry on for a second. I'll be right back. I gotta go bathroom myself.
Didn't you say you used to work for? You knew some people from Filmation. Just you could get back to me when you get back.
Now I'm in charge. Anyways, as I was gonna say. But I'm going to say this. You guys could have your own opinions that you want, but I'm just going to stick with my opinion. But the only reason why He-Man or Revelations or whatever the heck, I don't care. The only reason why it failed is because the dude said he was a He-Man fan and he did all his research. But in reality, he didn't. And the reason why the Siege series is so good is because there are some people behind Transformers Kingdom that actually know the series. And they know the stuff that need to be put in there and all that. That's why Siege was doing better than... Yeah, because we actually have people on the series that love Transformers, but for He-Man Revelations, there's just liars.
When I went to Target after I saw a show, I was so tempted to just curb stomp the Skelegod figures, the Battle Cats on the shelf. Like I was just so tempted to just kick them in and spit on them. I wouldn't even enjoy it if I stole it. That I don't even want any of those toys. And that Teela toy that's coming out, oh man, that's gonna be filling dollar stores every day.
Oh hey Ruben, I want to say something real quick. And I wanted to let you know about this ahead of time. The Buzzworthy Bumblebee, the Cybertron version, it's not gonna be $19. It's gonna be $28.
$28. Oh, come on.
Yeah, for that
$30?
Yeah, for the I'm gonna buy it regardless, but and also I need a
2-pack.
I need to get that multi-pack with Fangery. Definitely gonna
and also I think T-Rex is now being put on the store shelves now at Target.
I actually pre-ordered mine, I think. Yeah, I pre-ordered mine a while ago.
Oh, nice.
If someone hooked me up with T-Rex, because I never owned the mold of Megatron, please hook me up one. There's none where I live in a T-Rex Megatron.
Did you try Amazon?
I don't have money.
Get a job.
I don't want to get a job because I don't want to repeat the same bullshit what I used to get a job.
Well, then I don't know.
And I'm screwed.
You could start a Patreon.
I have Patreon, but no one's gonna donate me. They think I'm a scammer, bro.
Well,
all my viewers are a bunch of jackass.
I'd
That's what
donate
they want to
if
do.
I knew you had one.
I have one, but I don't use it much. Because I always say at the end of the video, Patreon, etc.
But yeah, I'm serious about the curb stomping thing. The only way those things are going to leave the store is in a goddamn dumpster. Or on the clearance bin. Or if the Target just burnt down.
And I'm gonna go get something to eat.
I'm sorry. Still really pissed.
Everybody's pissed about it, I know.
Sorry about that. I'm
Now
back.
Ruben left.
Hey, Otto.
Oh, hey, Ruben. He's gone. Yes, Ghost.
I wanted to, and hang on a minute. Hang on, hold on a minute. Anyways, like I was saying, hold on. Like I was saying, excuse me, I have someone on the phone. Like I was trying to say, the only reason why He-Man Revelations didn't do so good is because we have liars, and they don't know their history and all that. And for Transformers Siege or the War for Cybertron trilogy, I should call it, the reason why it's doing so good is because like Lorenzo de Bonaventura is actually involved with it, and he's been involved with Transformers for quite some time, and we actually have people that love Transformers that are involved with the series and that do
Who played
do their
Megatron
research.
that
And that's
show?
what,
Just wondering. Sorry, I didn't.
I'm going to say
sorry.
this is my opinion. I love T-Rex Megatron's voice, but besides the point, that's the way I see it, Otto. If I'm correct on that, because
well, yeah, I mean,
I do see the pattern with it.
yeah, what you're seeing, and this is here's the problem that we're starting to see. This is the whole reason why Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney.
I
Emma
love
Stone's
it
doing
because
too.
yeah, I'm enjoying. No offense, but I'm kind of enjoying that, especially Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Emma Stone is getting involved with it. I'm just like, heck yeah.
All right.
Well, and
Cause, go ahead, Otto.
no, when you take something and this is the thing that's happening. Back in the day, yes, you did. You had the good old boys. You really did. That's nothing that can be to hide or pretend it never happened. It did. But at the same time, we've now got this opposite. It's now you've got to follow this agenda. As long as you stay within the perimeters of that agenda, then you're going to be fine. The thing that worries me is that you got you got people like Chuck Dixon, who's also put his name as Buzz Dixon when he was doing the cartoons for G.I. Joe and some for He-Man, and also J. Michael Straczynski, who wrote a lot of the episodes of the original He-Man cartoon. They were hired for a job. They don't look at it and go, okay, I got a bone in that fight. But when you get to people that's been trying to keep the product alive, such as the Four Horsemen, such as, for a while there it was Milestone.
Didn't you used to work for Filmation or know people?
No, I did not. I knew people and had friends that I worked in the when I worked in the industry that actually had worked for Filmation early on. They were the what I would call the old timers. They were the dinosaurs but they knew how to put out a storyboard. I mean, it was like a storyboard. They could just boom, and you would see the sequence and know exactly. And I think that's a lost art. Honestly, I don't know. I think with everything being digital and being able to do things digital, I think that's fine to a degree. But at the end of the day, if you're not really really tolling over that artwork where you're looking and going, shit, that's not the right dimensions I should have for the arm, and you're having to erase it, physically erase it, and then go back and redraw it, I think it loses something. I think that if you have everyone that can get behind a computer program, and that everyone can be a Da Vinci, because the computer program does everything for you. And I think that's where people have become slack. And you could see that even in this here. There were certain scenes, certain angles, certain things that happened that just didn't match up good. But it was quickly overlooked because eventually you had the hero or the person doing a slow down phase where it kind of everything slowed down, or also you sped up the animation. And that means that you're hiding something within that animation, that you're having issues putting out there, showing. So
how do you think they feel? Like, it must be like a slap in the face. You work probably with people who worked on He-Man. Like,
I sit there and I mean, there's things that I worked on. It was kind of Ninja Bill had brought up the thing about Revan, and one of the other live streams I had, and I actually have a dog in that fight, because within that story arc, it was one of my first published works I ever had published, which went in the back of the book, but it was the design of the Wookiee, and Revan, the character that we also named our cat after, which was also part of a video game which is called Knights of Old Republic. I actually had ties to that personally. So, when George Lucas and George Lucas Films and Disney comes together and they kind of throw all that away, I kind of sat there going, well, we're going to get something fresh and new. And then what we got was, let's just piss on the fans and not stick with the story of Luke Skywalker, who's supposed to be the one that brings the balance. Everyone always sits there and says it was Darth Vader. It says Darth Vader will bring in the balance, and bringing in the balance was Leia and Luke. They were the reason why there was balance, was between the two. He was going to be the father, or bringing in the children of the balance. And when Disney got hold of it, they just threw that out the door. And, and doing that, it just, to a lot of people that worked on the projects, matter of fact, a good friend of ours, Karina Belchek, who was writing one of the legacy stories. What, Nikki? Was writing one of the legacy stories. She was doing one that was a story for Solo's and Leia's great granddaughter, and she didn't get to finish the story arc that she was actually writing. She finished it, and when Disney got the rights to Star Wars, they were like, "Oh, we don't care about that story," and they kind of threw it away. And her and her husband had done all this hard work for this character, and it's a backlash. I mean, when you go against the fans and you go against the creators that have kept your product alive, and you kind of just cut them out of it, yeah, it's got to be a slap in the face in some ways. I would have to think so.
And I'm just glad that Disney's gonna get sued, probably gonna get decimated. Like, there's no getting around it. Like, they're finished. Kevin Smith is screwed. Netflix is screwed. I think we're winning.
Well, this is what happens when you are a company and you decide to choose. When you decide to choose, you should never, in a company and never in a group that definitely creates you, never should ostracize or pigeonhole your company in one direction. If you want to show diversity, then show diversity, but do it as has always been done, making the story, progressing the story, introducing new characters. That's the problem that we're seeing, is that everybody wants to bring diversity into it, but nobody wants to create new characters. They want to take the characters that's already established, that already have a fan base, and then they want to come over here and they want to force them to be to identify this way. And you've got fans that have been fans of this character for 20, 30, 40 years. And they're all going, hell no, that's not how this character or her character would be. Where the hell are you coming from trying to do this? And the problem is that this is where when companies don't pay incentives to their writers and artists and say, hey, if you create a new character and that character takes off, we'll make sure you get to keep your royalty checks. If they did that, and that's what Marvel and DC did back in the 80s. That's the reason why there was a big boom in the comic book industry in the 90s, is that you had where Marvel and DC were paying royalties to the artists and to the writers of creating these new characters. And then all of a sudden you have Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Mark Cervinsky, Jim Valentino. They all work for Marvel Comics. They did Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk. They did Guardians of the Galaxy. They were the creators of all those characters. They were the creators of Venom, Cable, X-Force, Deadpool. And then in 93, Marvel was going through bankruptcy, and they decided they were going to cut the royalty checks. So these cats jumped off of Marvel and created a whole new company called Image Comics. They sold their first issues of Image Comics because their fans went and bought it, and each one of them became multimillionaires overnight. They went from being paid $30 to $75 a page to being paid. And what that means is you got 32 pages in a comic book. You get paid per page that you do. And they went from being, $30 per page, which means they got paid $30 every page they drew, to all of a sudden overnight, each page they drew automatically, because they created their own characters and they copyrighted their own characters, they were now making $100,000 a page.
Jeez. And
they showed the corruption within the comic book industry, saying, look, Marvel and DC are making all these movies. They're making all these TV shows. They're making all this product of the characters that you're creating, and you're getting nothing for it. And then all of a sudden, creators and artists were like, I don't want to create a new character. If I create a new character, they're going to get to keep the rights of that character, and I'll get jack shit. And so now we've created this thing that now no one wants to create new characters, because nobody wants to go through the whole copyright things that you're having to go through right now. And you want to take characters that's already established and you're trying to change them. You're not going to win. You're going to lose. You're going to lose completely. You've got to choose whether or not just keep, if you want to have your artwork or your story being told on the platform that already has fan base, such as Superman, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Deadpool, Cable, if you want to tell stories within that universe, then you need to keep the stories true to its core, to
source
material. If you want to go outside that source material and kind of have a character that's kind of like Deadpool, then you need to create your own character and do it that way. That's the reason why there's such blowback right now.
And it looks like woke culture's starting to come to an end. Like, if Disney falls, everything in Hollywood falls. Netflix goes bankrupt, it's over.
Oh, well, Netflix is not making any money. I don't know if y'all looked at the stocks with Netflix.
I know.
Netflix is not making any money right now. They are actually in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in the negative.
We're winning.
They're creating all this new material, but they are not getting new viewers. They're not getting new people buying Netflix subscriptions. So you're getting all this new material, and Netflix is borrowing money for this stuff. And it's there's a saying that's out there: once you go woke, you're going to go broke.
And at this rate, I'd say we've won. We beat woke culture.
You got the cancel culture, you got the woke culture, and I'm watching, and and it's like Nikki was pointing out to me. She's like, "You realize that we're watching the Power Rangers? We haven't watched the Power Rangers in for almost 20 years, and we're now binge watching the Power Rangers because we just want something that's just telling a story, not something that's trying to push an agenda, not something that's trying to make you, just telling a story and let it be as campy as it possibly can and enjoy the campiness with it."
Like Transformers.
Yes.
And that's why Hasbro's doing good now. Like I'm telling you, I also kind of blame Biden, but that's neither here or there. I'm telling you, here's what's going to happen. Disney's going to fall. Netflix is going to fall. Trump's going to get reelected. Bam, we won.
Well, the one thing that I'm seeing right now, and this is the big concern for me, being a comic book guy, and I'm going to be doing Free Comic Book Day in Greenville, South Carolina, at Richards Comics and Collectibles. I'll be one of the artists that's going to be there drawing and doing free artwork for the kids. I have some really good friends that have comic book stores. I have some really good friends that work for Marvel and DC and still are doing artwork for them. The one thing that all of us are saying is that if Marvel falls or DC falls, then that's the end of all of it. If those two publishing houses in some way, shape, form, or fashion stops publication, then the only way you're not going to get any new stories other than what Hollywood wants you to have, because typically the stories that you get, the reason why we have Civil War in the movies is because it was a comic book first. The reason why we have the Infinity Gauntlet as a movie is because it was in the comic books first. Same thing with Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Winter Soldier. All those were first comic books made into movies based strictly off of those movies. Black Widow, a comic book. And one that wasn't a comic book was Captain Marvel. It was the one thing that the fans hated. Captain Marvel. They hated Captain Marvel. Why? Because Carol Danvers was not Captain Marvel. She was Miss Marvel. And who was Captain Marvel was Photon, which was the black girl that we had in that shows up in the WandaVision. She was actually Captain Marvel.
And guess what's going to happen now? Scarlett Johansson's going to take down Disney, and I guess Hollywood's over. Like, we might as well just start watching anime.
Oh, heck.
I'm thinking of watching My Hero Academia. You?
I don't know what any of that is. I don't watch anime.
I look at what the thing that anime is doing, and this is the only way we're going to see any way for the industry to make it is in anime. You let the artist create the story and the art, and then they put it out there in a what's called Shonen Jump, or they put it online, and the ones that actually fans pick get made into manga, and then they get made into anime, and then they and it's because there's a fan base with it. That's the only thing that's going to save Disney in itself. Is Disney's going to have to go, okay, either we can still strong arm people to do it the way we wanted to do it, or we're going to have to allow creators to create, and we just pay for them to create it, and then when it's good, then we have a hit.
It's going to be the former.
Yeah.
Like, Disney's practically screwed now. They're bleeding out. Nobody's using Disney Plus. It's over.
What they did with Loki. When you lose your fan base for Loki, I'm like, I haven't watched Loki yet. But whatever happened in Loki, has been so much of a backlash that you've had people just dropping Disney Plus, just like a bad habit.
It's like,
and then you're making the Black Panther into a female.
Fine by me. long as it's his sister, from what I heard.
But
No, it's gonna be some bitch who's actually white.
but it makes no sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand T'Challa has died. I have been a fan of Black
T'Challa.
Panther, T'Challa for
Yes.
40 years. I have his first
And-
appearance from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Fantastic Four. The thing is that I hate to see that he passed away, especially from cancer, since I'm a cancer survivor.
Man,
But the thing
I
is,
like
is
what-
that they should not have made Thor a female then. If they were if that happened, they knew this beforehand, and they should have sat there and said, okay, maybe we shouldn't change Thor right now. We're going to change Black Panther to be the sister because of a actual tragedy, but we want to keep his memory alive. What are you saying, Ghost?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, but that's the thing about Chadwick Boseman. Like his whole family knew about it. Like even from the day he started on Civil War, he was fighting all that, and he
Mhm.
told nobody. Only his family knew about it, and it was unexpected. And he became a legend in Marvel. Like even for other people, like if you're dealing with any kind of sickness or anything like that, don't let it bring you down. Continue doing what you love. And he became an example of that because he fought his cancer.
You know what it is? I feel like that black hole's starting to open up. Like, let's say if Disney falls, like goes out of business, which it probably will, that it's just going to consume all of Hollywood. Like, no matter what, even Warner Brothers, like they're going to consume now. Like, it's going to just suck everything in. If Disney
Well, Warner
goes.
Brothers got sold. Warner Brothers got sold because
I'll be
of
in
them making bad business decisions, and so
When did
they
that
got
happen?
sold to AOL.
Yeah,
AOL is like, they're not putting up with this junk. They're like, we bought you because we thought that we were going to get something that would push our phone products. You're telling me that y'all been bleeding out because you've been wanting to tell these stories, but nobody's buying them. And they canceled. I mean, so
Talk about cancel culture.
yeah, talk about cancel culture. They were like, y'all aren't making money. Done. I mean, DC was putting out 52 books, but was only making money off of 22, 23 books. So they were putting out over more than half of the stories that they were putting out as comic books fans did not like, and Warner Brothers was paying for it because they just wanted to have new material so they could try and keep the copyrights. AOL came in and was like, "What do you mean you've got 30 books that's not making any money? What do you mean? You've not made any money off these books, and they're still in publication?" And DC was like, "Yeah, well, Dan Didio, he got fired because of it. Said, no, you can't do this." He was like, well, I was told this, but well, this is the reason why they ended up having to be bought out. It's because of bad business decisions that they're making right here. This is why they went bankrupt. This is why they got bought out by a telecommunication, not another movie theater, no, a telecommunication, a cell phone company buys one of the biggest Hollywood studios in existence. And Disney thinks it was so big that it would be able to just allow things to happen and be like, well, we'll eat it up. We'll find it. Something else will be another blockbuster. It'll make up for the thing. And they're now being known as buying a multi-billion-dollar franchise, which was Star Wars, and running it into the ground.
While Warner Bros. Makes Godzilla versus Kong and Mortal Kombat and
Yep.
and Animaniacs and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard bad things about Space Jam, but hey, every year it's got to have a dud. But all things considered, this year alone, Warner Brothers is kicking ass. Elmer Fudd just got his gun back.
Yeah, Space Jam, the movie was the last movie that Warner Brothers actually did. They were actually in control of it before AOL came in and took over. So that goes to show you the bad business decisions they were making. The decisions that AOL came in and said, no, we're going to put out Kong versus Godzilla. We're going to put out,
The Animaniacs reboot, which is
yes, that's on Hulu and stuff, and was like, we're going to put this stuff out there because we know this is going to entice fans to come and watch it.
We're going to do Batman meets Ninja Turtles. We're going to do all this shit while I'm Not Starfire burns in hell.
Yes.
That's another can of worms for another day. What I'm just saying is, like, here's the fear. I feel like if Disney goes under, it's just going to consume everything around it. Like, not just Netflix. I mean, everything in Hollywood. It would be like a rift in times, like a rift in the space-time continuum.
I mean, I'll be honest. It would not. If Hollywood sank, I wouldn't be upset about it, to be honest. Because they are so disconnected, and this is one of the reasons why I got out of it. It became so disconnected that when you had a story to be told, you had executives that came in and they were like, well, we got to have this, and this put in there, but yet the story and no need. And as art department, we had no need to put that stuff in there, only because an executive came in and says, but we want this.
We're just going to make an Adolf Hitler speech.
Yeah. I mean,
And if Disney falls, so does the rest of Hollywood. It's a domino effect.
What?
Fox falls.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fox falls, DC falls. Disney has bought so much, if they fall, everything dies. It's like Unicron, in a way.
Yes.
Sometimes I actually feel like he's real, just there. And once Disney, after this case with Scarlett Johansson, which I'm not a fan of woke culture, but this is actually good. Go for it, girl. You've got our support. But, like, Disney falls, and it's just like, I don't know. It just feels like the earth will blow up or something like crazy like that.
Yeah. There needs to be a change. And right now you're seeing that you have someone that sits there and says, I'm going to be doing this for you, the fans. I'm going to give y'all what you want. And I'm like, and this is Kevin Smith. And then, Clownfish comes out, and I kind of think they're like me. I don't share a lot of people that I know that I know that I'm friends with, that also knows people that's voice acting these other shows, because I'm not that type of person. So I think Clownfish is kind of like how I am. They have an outside source that is a friend or acquaintance. It was kind of like gave them the heads up, saying, Kevin Smith, you will not believe what he's done with Teela and the Masters of the Universe. And they probably were like, well, I'll keep your name out of it. You might give me a little bit of juice on it. And they did. And what does Kevin Smith do? He comes out and is like trying to, no, this is not a Teela story. This is not a Teela story. And it's like, but clearly it is a Teela story. I mean, we usually even see her power up at one time. I am one of the greatest. I have no idea who my mother is, but I know that I am great. And then she has this power up thing. And then it's like, bro.
What is this, Legend of Korra?
What now?
That would have worked in like Legend of Korra or something if it was Korra or one of the avatars, but like not in goddamn Masters of the Universe. You could do whatever. There is no Africa on Eternia. There's no China on Eternia. There are no minorities on Eternia.
Well, I think the story would have been fine.
Except Orko. There's only one Trollan.
Yeah, I mean, if you had She-Ra, I mean, this would have been a great if it was called She-Ra, and Teela was actually Adora. And you're sitting there seeing Adora going through these trials to get.
And instead of Roboto, we'd have He-Man.
I would have been fine with that. I think that would have been I would actually been A-okay.
And Evelyn would be Shadow Weaver.
It would have been perfect. It really would have been perfect.
Grizzlor
would have been Beastman. Yeah.
Okay, we have here's what we'd have. We'd have He-Man, Adora, Shadow Weaver, Grizzlor, and let's say Orko, because why not?
Yeah.
Orko, Cal, yeah. Okay, and what else think. They gotta go to the fright zone to get the. I'm just spitballing here, and at the end of it, both of them power up and reunite they both have to use their halves of the power sword by the power and 40 honor. And when they go to Pre-Eternia, they meld it together, and a bright light comes out of the central tower.
It would have been ideal. It would have been
But
perfect.
suddenly, Hordak and Skeletor come out of nowhere from the Viper Tower, and a huge battle ensues in the land of the gods. We got Ulard, Wonder, all these ancient He-Mans, ancient She-Ras. We got the goddess. We have got everyone here. The ultimate battleground begins again.
You know,
Did I just turn to Quentin Tarantino?
yeah. But you know what? And he's a prime example. I'm glad you mentioned him. He's a prime example that he's the reason why he's getting out of Hollywood.
Good.
He's like, I'm telling my stories, and then when I'm done with the stories I want to tell, I'm out of here. I mean, you got Seth Rogen that has left. You know, you got everyone else is like fleeing. You got the UFC.
Travis Knight, he's not here.
Yeah, you got UFC.
Adam Sandler isn't even here.
No, he's in North Carolina.
All right. Hey, could you get him on the show one day? I want to meet him.
I would love to be able to do that, but I don't have that type of clout with him.
I wanted to ask him if he could do like a Popeyes commercial as Little Nicky.
Little Nicky.
That would be so. Anyway, can I continue? Anyway, they're fighting. Then they use the sword and they stab Skeletor. Like, I am just spitballing here and already. Look at that. Magic's Dining Etheria. He-Man comes. This is where He-Man comes in with Orko and Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, you know what? Fuck Shadow Weaver, because I don't want that whole betrayal thing. Fuck that. We're going to have Bo and who's another she right here? You know what? Fuck it. We'll also put I don't watch She-Ra. I just know Bo. Fine, Cowl. And then let's see here.
But there's so much that they could have done with this series.
And I am just spitballing here.
Yeah, if they wanted to. The problem is that they had this agenda, and when you have that, and you
destroy Hollywood.
You're sitting there. You're willing to sacrifice someone, and when you sacrifice your fan base, and you alienate your fan base, you know, it's destroyed. I mean, I understand that you have Kevin Smith saying, well, the original toy line said Masters of the Universe. Yes, it did.
Okay, then do a Tila show like a goddamn adult.
And I was like, and did you not realize all the original artwork that you had at the very beginning of the first episode? All that original artwork that everybody got to see was actually from the original artwork for the toy line. That was not artwork that you created. It was something that was taken from the 80s.
Except that one with Snake Mountain. That was original. Was it?
No.
Hey, I'm going to get going, guys. Cause
Me too. I got an early day tomorrow. But I just look at it and go, you had this opportunity. You had a gold mine. And instead of...
You got a septic tank.
And nobody cares about it. And
cancel your Netflix subscriptions. I sent you Kevin Smith's address, remember? Hey, did you see the picture I sent of the Boston Terrier? And with the said Kevin. It looked... I'll show it. I'm not crazy, but he looks like a crying Boston Terrier.
He does. I mean...
Why should I trust anything this man says? I don't care if you're saying a battle's going to next episode. Bitch, you already lost me. You already lost.
When you have 8 episodes and then all of a sudden you take it down to 5 episodes, that's got to tell you something. Why not
just do 10? It was supposed to be 10 originally, actually.
Yep. And he cut it down to 8.
Skeletor wins. The end.
Exactly. Oh, he shows back up.
That's all, folks. Yeah.
And with that, that's the end of the show.
I'll
have a great one, guys.